It's called the male loser epidemic, in which Shuon Head lays the blame of male loneliness at whose feet? Let's find out.
Hello again, friends. Sorry I've been gone for quite a bit. Hopefully nothing too crazy happened. I feel like every time I take a break, like, a war breaks out or something, but thankfully that did not happen.
Huh.
But at least we found out.
Good fucking lord. It might be time to hang it up. I don't think she has whatever the sauce was that she had at one point. Is she memes? Yeah, she's doing the memes.
I am Shuon Head, and on this channel I like to cover cultural issues, mostly surrounding men's issues. It's what I've been doing for over a decade, and frankly, I'm exhausted. Many of you have been along for the ride, and you have seen me go from a chipper, lively 24-year-old making fun of BuzzFeed and Tumblr feminists, to a bitter, calloused 34-year-old talking about very real and growing men's issues. One of the main men's issues I have been covering in great detail lately has been the male loneliness epidemic. Yeah, but turns out I was wrong. We don't have a male loneliness epidemic. We have a male loser epidemic.
Yeah, it's kind of true. So she's just back on this. She's essentially just farming, like, these types of guys' clicks. That's what it is at this point. And she even knows it. It's okay. It is essentially a male loser epidemic, yeah. Not everyone who's lonely is a loser. Everyone who says they're part of the male loneliness epidemic is a loser. You know what I mean? Loneliness is a real problem we can discuss. Male loneliness epidemic, air quotes, as shown in internet parlance. Ridiculous.
It's not a male loneliness epidemic. No, it's a male mediocrity epidemic. It's a male loser epidemic.
The male loser epidemic has gotten so bad that it's honestly so pathetic at this point.
Yeah, and so for some reason, insecure males who are lonely and hate women say that they are victims of this thing. And so when you hear the male loser epidemic, you know, she's gonna do like there's like this not all men thing going on, like, you know, yeah, time to white knight for men. Thank you very much. I was feeling very attacked personally as a man who doesn't experience this. But there are good men who do experience the male loneliness. But it's not due to their maleness that they experience the loneliness. It's due to, I mean, I can sit here and tell you, if you want to ask me, if you're like, Jake, be really honest about why I'm a lonely guy, I'm sure I can help figure it out. It's going to be a combination of you don't take care of yourself or respect yourself enough, and you don't put yourself in situations where you're going to have the kind of interactions you're looking for. So that's usually it. That's usually the whole thing. And along with respecting yourself is like, you know, having the self-respect not to be a cuck for right-wing politics that make you feel like you have to perform certain aspects of masculinity that you're unable to, because we're all different. And there is no really standard for being a man. There's only the standard for being yourself. No matter what it is, it comes back to a general misogynistic, patriarchal worldview. So yeah.
With all these issues men are facing, they seem to be moving to the right and the Republicans more, since the left and Democrats have essentially just become the young men eat and die movement.
I don't think young men should eat shit and die. I think young men are, like all young groups of people, typically misled by people that give them easy answers for complex things. And you're just one of the people that lead them astray. So it's your fault. Like when you're like, oh, the male loneliness epidemic, and you know, you can call them the Democrats, but really it's leftists being like, look, men, the problem is definitely that you have antisocial tendencies, and we have collectively as men, and you wouldn't know what that's like, but I do. No, I'm not crazy about when Shuon Head speaks for us. The idea here is that, you know, like, we're socialized in a way that doesn't necessarily benefit us, even though, like, it's, you know, centered around performing certain aspects of masculinity as determined by patriarchy. So it's like, you know, right-wing patriarchy. So it's very strange. Only through unpacking that, I think, can you really be a happy person. Like, I genuinely believe that if you're always performing your personality, like, you can't really be yourself, can you?
Months ago, I covered how the Democratic Party was losing young men, and I predicted Kamala Harris would lose in part because of young men overwhelmingly voting for Trump. And I was correct. Well, now the Democrats have unveiled their final solution to the right-wing male loser epidemic. Democrats have blown millions of dollars on efforts to appeal to American men who turned to President Donald Trump in droves on Election Day in hopes of winning back the working class. Democrats have spent $20 million on their efforts, with donors and strategists holing up in luxury hotel rooms, brainstorming how to convince working class men to return to the party. Ah yes, nothing more relatable to working class men than luxury hotel rooms.
I don't like the Democrats either, but I mean, I don't care what hotel room you meet in to do your politicking. And obviously the right wing is no better.
The plan? Codename Sam.
And liberals, especially the Democratic establishment, is not really different than the right wing from like a material standpoint. Like, not much changes. Aesthetically, a lot changes. I think the behavior of the people around get worse because they feel emboldened by, whoever's in charge. But like, I think we can, on the one side, calling it the Democrats' final solution is ridiculous. I think you can criticize liberals and also not just sit here and agree implicitly with the MAGA movement.
The effort also recommends Democrats buy advertisement in video games, among other things. The Democratic Party is treating young men like exotic animals they're studying.
I think it's funny that she laughs at this when the Republicans literally do all the things that she's talking about. Like, she's like scoffing at the idea, but literally right-wing media is invading all of these male spaces, and it's working. It's the same thing. Like, it's, I guess when liberals talk about it, it's cringe, and when right-wingers talk about it, it's like strategy and like nefarious dealings, I suppose. But they do the same shit.
Listen, Democrats, instead of spending $20 million to do that stupid maybe you should, I don't know, actually listen to men. I listen to men for free all the time. All I have to do is read my comment section. Let's see here. Shoe on Head is a perfect example of why we need to repeal the 19th. Greetings from Albania. I hate women so much it's unreal. Ooh, shoo, mommy, milkies, 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 mommy, mommy, mommy. One time I got my penis stuck in a soda bottle. Okay, on second thought, maybe my comment section is not the best source.
Great audience. Look, no YouTube comment section is good, but I mean, like, she curates the audience she has.
I think it's a waste of money. Maybe these guys should spend their money on teaching men to not be such sexists. Maybe.
I agree. I genuinely agree. If you spent time in school while children were in their formative years discussing things like consent and kindness and sharing, and I'm not joking, and just generally being a well-socialized individual that doesn't delineate its treatment of people based on like sex or appearance or whatever, I think you're going to see the kind of citizens that you desire to see in this world pretty quickly, especially if you make sure that those kids have access to nutrition every day, quality classrooms, safe homes where their parents don't have to stress about paying rent every day, access to health care, stuff like that. And the only way to get that is to ensure it for all people. Otherwise, everyone's got to scramble for it. And it's always just going to be like this, which is not a quality system. It's inefficient, and it's silly to advocate for.
Look at what young women have to choose from. The pickings are slim. Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men. There are a lot of young women out there that want to get married. They want to have kids. They want to have stable families. But there are a lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash.
Oh no. The very night I was sitting on my couch writing the script to my video about how the Democrats are spending $20 million to relate to young men, this came on my TV on Fox News. A Tommy Lahren and Laura Ingraham segment about stay-at-home sons.
Yeah, man. So that is a capitalism issue. She definitely watches Fox News. Oh, yeah. She loves Fox News. It's on in the home where her Catholic nationalist husband lives. How's she going to keep him happy if she's not up to snuff with his beliefs? Frankly, I don't want them to get mad at me. They both like to consider themselves sort of centrists, but it's crazy that every single time we come back around, like, you're really just reinforcing what Tommy Lahren is saying. You just don't like how she's saying it, and you just don't realize what's going on. Like, the right-wing position on men is that they have to act a certain way to be masculine and to be, like, valid guys in the system, in the sexual marketplace. I mean, you don't advocate for a different system when you lay the blame of the male loneliness on people's plates that aren't the men that are lonely. You can't force other people to want to socialize with a bunch of fucking dorks.
Men who still live at home.
I don't mind men who still live at home, because that's, I mean, like, that's a symptom of, you know, the system that people live in. Irrelevant to me. I think really what Tommy Lahren is talking about is men who are basically just still teenagers. Like, it's okay to have whimsy and enjoy yourself. I like to play a video game and shit. I don't even agree with Tommy Lahren, because I don't think there's a wrong way to, like, be a man or whatever, insofar as your presentation and aesthetics are concerned, but, like, or your actions or whatever.
Literally minutes after this aired, it went absolutely viral on Twitter for not good reasons. So we are going to unpack this piece by piece.
Alrighty.
Because even though everyone was mocking it and making fun of it, as far as I saw, nobody was really dissecting it and breaking down exactly why she was so egregiously wrong. Because who else better equipped to talk about men's issues than two stupid blonde bimbos? Hold on one second. 3 stupid blonde bimbos. Sorry.
I don't like that the joke for her usually centers around validating men's sort of like sexist ideas of what's going on in the world. Who is that kind of painfully unfunny comedian lady for a while? Oh, what is her name? She was in a bunch of movies for like just a minute. Amy Schumer. Ooh, Sean Head is like just internet Amy Schumer at this point in a lot of ways. She has Amy Schumer vibes where it's just like the same fucking thing over and over.
See? I do drink it. That one's for you, Tectone.
It's a major problem. And you know, Speaker Johnson has been talking about those maybe deadbeat folks that are on Medicaid, and maybe some of those folks are the stay-at-home sons. We don't know. But I'll tell you this.
By the way, the whole Republican Party is on this kind of talking point.
Leave it to Gen Z
It's not just her.
rebrand laziness and social awkwardness as something cutesy, like a stay-at-home son. But Laura, I gotta tell you, this is also a big problem when it comes to, I think, declining birth rates, people not getting married and having children. You know,
A lot of things go into declining birth rates, like women's education and sexual health, and their ability to get prophylactics on both sides of the engagement. Like, man, this is a capitalism problem. People aren't getting married and having kids because they can't afford that shit. It's scary to bring a kid into this world when you don't know if they're even going to be able to fucking have health care or school to go to. Why would people do that when they can't count on their government and the collectivization of all our resources to bring someone into a world that is, like, you know, good? So a lot of people are bailing out of that and just, like, they're either kicking the can down the road and hoping the shit gets better before they pull the trigger on stuff, or they're just, like, done with it. They're just like, okay, well, that part of my life is just, like, probably not going to happen because I don't live in a world where I feel like it's ethical to bring life into it.
No, that's a big problem. They blame it on women. Well, look at what young women have to choose from. The pickings are slim. Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men. There are a lot of young women out there that want to get married. They want to have kids. They want to have stable families. But there are a lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash. And that's...
I don't think it's feminine to live in mom's basement or order DoorDash. You could be a bag of shit and poor, or be awesome and poor. Like, the poor part has really nothing to do with it. Like, how much of a deadbeat are we talking? Most of the deadbeats I've ever known have been right wing, and that's a goddamn fact.
That's why we have declining birth rates and a lot of other problems in society. It's time to go out, get a job, breathe the fresh air, meet people in real life. Let's just get back to basics.
So first of all, this stay-at-home son thing is not a real thing. It was a random throwaway, self-deprecating joke some contestant on Jeopardy said. One f***ing guy. Because I guess there's nothing else important going on that they could cover on the news. They literally made this into a fake phenomena so they can on young men. Meanwhile, Democrats are spending millions of dollars trying to win back young men. Oh no, the young men are leaving us in droves. How do we get them back? Don't worry, I got this. Hey, you fat, lazy, Cheeto dust-covered slobs, f*** you. Nice. Thanks. I love you. I love you too.
This is like boy slop.
Is the amount of young men living home with their parents increasing? Yes. Is it because they're lazy bums and just want to order DoorDash all day? No. And also, they're not paying for DoorDash, Tommy. They're financing it. Come on. Get with the times.
There are a lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash. And that's why we have declining birth rates. It's time to go out, get a job, breathe the fresh air.
Have either of you tried applying for a job as a young man recently? Or tried buying a house on the salary of one of these young men? Have you?
Why is it only young men? How about anybody? I know she's talking about young men, Tommy is, but like all of the people that exist in America are having a hard time with this problem. Only men get sympathy under this because only men are the ones that should have primary access to capital. It's such a weird way to center them. It would be fine if you pivoted this into, it's not a male loser epidemic, it's a capitalism problem, and men are being scapegoated as part of it. Be a lefty and fight the fucking power. But no.
Listen, I know the average age of a Fox News viewer is like 70 nowadays and you need to pander to them, but Tommy, you are like 2 years younger than me. You know this shit isn't true. Why are you talking like this? Why are you talking like a fucking boomer? I'm sorry, I have no other word for this, but I hate this like generational pick-me shit. I was born in the wrong generation.
I don't, maybe there's just no self-reflection involved in the things she says when she writes them down. Says the pick, right? She's like the pick me. Like, I don't like Tommy Lahren. Stop making me defend. I'm not even defending Tommy Lahren. I just think, like, you're not right. You're not correct also. She has no self-awareness. It's really, like, I don't know why I'm surprised, I guess. If she knew she was like this, she wouldn't be making the stuff. As a man who occasionally dates other men, the problem is not men having a hard time. It's that men don't have personalities. That's a fucking fact. Men have such a hard time expressing themselves. To get them to speak up in a room, it's crazy. It used to be like they wouldn't shut the fuck up, and now it's hard to, like, they don't. But that's the thing, like, the ones who don't shut the fuck up don't really talk about anything. I need, you know, outside is expensive. Talking's free.
I'm not like those other young people. And you know what? She's not like those other young people. Not all young people can afford a nice nose job and lip filler and get a cushy job on Fox News based entirely on merit, I'm sure. The main problem with this brain-dead boomer—
Man, she just feeds into sexist tropes. That's funny. That's a good pause face.
ass take is not only is it cringe, but it's completely divorced from reality. This slop is specifically designed for people who paid like $5 for a fucking house. And listen, not all boomers, okay? My parents are boomers, they are lovely people. A lot of you guys are boomers, but when the baby boomer generation sends its people, it is not sending their best. They are not sending you. They're sending people who have lots of problems. They're bringing the housing crisis. They're bringing wage stagnation. They're falling for AI-generated photos on Facebook. But some, I assume, are good people. But my god, I truly believe they do not understand how good they had it. They could support a family on a single income. A single income from a job that didn't require a college degree. Their leaders didn't prostitute away their economic future for some cheap plastic shit from China.
Yeah, they did. Reaganomics. Yeah, they did. They absolutely did. It was them that voted that in the first time as young people, like in the 80s and 70s.
They inherited the greatest economy known to man, and they pretend it's a paradise that they earned. I just don't understand, like, why don't boomers and spiritual boomers like Tommy Lahren see people struggling and go, wow, I wish I could fix this. They should have it better than I had it. And you wonder why so many millennials and zoomers don't want kids. I want to make the world a better place for my children. I want to make the world a better place for my children. Ugh. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, you spoiled brat. Children. Not happening.
Well, look at what young women have to choose from. The pickings are...
Cat lady funny. Right, yeah. Like, she just can't get away from the sexist trope at all. She can't break herself away from, like, pandering to misogyny. I don't even fucking like Tommy.
Slim. Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men.
Young men are becoming lazy because they're becoming feminized. So they're becoming lazy because they act more like women? What did she mean by this, chat? I know there's like a decrease in testosterone or something happening, but men are moving right-wing all over the world. Does that correlate with the feminization? Or, I mean, there are suspiciously a lot of far-right femboys, so...
It's pretty weird to correlate, or not even correlate, it's pretty weird to conflate right-wingedness with masculinity, because that is not the experience that I have with Nazis. Nazis are gay as fuck. Nazis perform for other men so goddamn much. It is just devoid of the heterosexuality that I am comfortable with. Just don't shove it in front of my face or whatever. Keep it to yourselves. Men are moving to the right and they're more lonely at the same time? Nothing to see here.
But here's the thing, Tammy. There is absolutely no evidence that young women want to start families more than young men. None. In fact, all the data says the exact f***ing opposite. According to Pew Research, 64% of women younger than 50 say they just don't want to have children.
Yeah, because it's a risk for them and they don't have the resources or stability in partnership to be, consider that a reliable choice.
No reason, they just don't want them. First, 50% of men who say the same.
I bet if you could have conversations with 100% of that 64%, you'd find out that, it's not just no reason. It's a lot of reasons instead of just one reason.
Another study by Archbridge Institute shows the same. 63% of women without children said they have no desire to have a child, while only 50% of men said the same. For men, the most commonly cited factor was personal finance, but among women, the strongest reason not to have a child was their desire to maintain their personal independence.
Facts. Yeah. It's both for me as well, and a lot of people that I know. Absolutely. I think there's lots of people who love being parents. I even like having kids around and like teaching them little things every once in a while and, getting able to see the world through a different set of eyes and their first interpretations of the world is like pretty interesting. Just like their little personalities coming out. They have cute little shoes and stuff. They're cool to be around. That's why I'm more suited to have like uncle vibes. I'm good. I like to be around, but I don't want to like go home and then also like they're still here. I want to be able to go to bed whenever I want and do my other shit. And also, some people are built for this. I am not. I am not built for having like a morning life, for instance. Like I can't wake up at 7 a.m. every day to get this kid to school. Probably 6 a.m. rather. That's tough.
Basically, they don't want to give up their brunch and mimosas. They've been ass blasted with propaganda their whole lives.
They're mimosas. I love that you think that independence is mimosas. Ass blasted with propaganda their whole lives. Not Shoe on Head, who has not been ass blasted with propaganda her whole life. I think people can just have whatever the life they want. If you want to have kids, go have some.
Telling them their lives will be ruined, their bodies will be ruined, they'll never have fun again, they'll be miserable forever if they have children.
First of all, some of that's true. Not you'll never have fun again or whatever the fuck. Like, obviously that's untrue. But a lot of the shit's true. Your body does get fucked up. It's very hard. It's a difficult task to undertake. It's painful. It comes with many complications. If you don't have a situation that you're already comfortable in without a kid, it's going to be pretty hard to justify having a kid too.
And as someone who has had a children, best decision I've ever made. 10/10, highly recommend, would do it again. But yes, this idea that men are the ones primarily responsible for the...
But that's okay. You can choose that. No one cares. Lots of people have kids. There's people that have kids in this chat right now. Devout leftists, atheists, baller-ass people. They love their kids. Like, it's totally fine. It's just not for everybody. So I just don't think we need to worry about it. Like, to push people to have kids is so fucking weird. It's just odd. Stefan Molyneux, your eggs are drying out vibes. Like, go ahead and just, like, make them if you want them. I have really good friends that love having their kids. I have really good friends that do not love having their kids, but they love their kids, so they do the parenthood anyway. But all parents admit it's fucking tough. It's hard. It's thankless. It can be gross. It can be agonizing. It can be scary and stressful and anxiety-inducing. Like, it's financially crazy. You get much less independence, like everyone's saying. It's a very important undertaking, and people should be making the decision more coherently than just getting knocked up early or whatever. I mean, I'm not saying that she did. She's old enough, plenty, to make any decision she wants to make. She don't need my permission. She can be a mom. I don't mind. Lots of people are moms. Totally fine with me.
But honestly, it's not really women or men's fault. There are a lot of factors that play into this. But Tommy, I really gotta ask, is it men or is it you?
This is gonna be the summer of canceling boys. All of my friends are attractive. All of my friends are successful. All of my friends have something going on. Almost every single one of them have an issue with men. But if all of these women, including myself, are having issues, then I have to think, it might not be us. It might be you. It is not just the guys in Los Angeles now.
But she's right. I hate to say it, Tommy Lahren is right. It is definitely the men. As a man, as one of them, it's 100%. I mean, not 100%. It's like 90% our fault. There are some share men or women, and there are some things that women do to uphold the shitty standards that men have foisted upon society. But that is all part of patriarchy. That's just internalized misogyny type vibes. Shoe on head is part of that deal. It is men's fault for socializing in a way that marginalizes women and forces them to react in a way that makes men feel lonely because they just don't want to deal with men. And because they have enough equality in this country to have like financial independence, and because like, you know, people are more openly queer, people have a little bit different idea of what life is like. I guarantee you, millennials, if we had a stable situation and we had like healthcare and, you know, education and housing all wrapped up, the stuff that we think we deserve, and we do, you'll see birth rates, you know, go back to like roughly normal, but it'll still be a little bit lower than what it was for the boomer, you know, definitely for the boomers, but, you know, the older generations. I think, you know, 1.5 is like a pretty... That's a lot of fucking kids on average for someone to have. I mean, we don't have to have some certain carrying capacity. We don't have to have certain numbers for anything. This is just a capitalist fever dream that is worried about not having enough labor to get stuff done. But it's crazy because, like, with less demand, with fewer people, you'll have less work that needs done. And with automation, you'll have less work that needs done. And so inevitably, the idea is that we should have as few people toiling as possible, and only after you get to that point are you going to see your whole birth rate problem turn around or whatever. Like, you're so worried about birth rates, by the way. It's strange. I'm more worried about people just being happy. I don't care if you have kids or not. It's irrelevant to me. There will be humans in the future. I'm not worried about that whatsoever.
Nashville, Dallas, and they're not any better in the Midwest. They, quite frankly, I think they're trash all over this country.
My friends are successful. Men don't give a shit about that. They'd marry a Walmart cashier if she was nice to them.
I think.
Listen to yourself. If a Walmart cashier was nice to a man, he would immediately fall in love with her and try to marry her. That's just fucking tragic. Men, I am, like, begging you not to just glom on to the next person who's nice to you. Do you know how many bad relationships are because of that? Like, for real, because men... Not only do men have, like, we'll call it not high enough standards or whatever, but it doesn't mean, like, don't date these people. It just means, like, don't throw your whole life into, like, a bad relationship because they pay attention to you or whatever. Like, just getting some reciprocity out of, like, a relationship, and men just, like, kind of literally lose their minds about it. Or they go the whole fucking other way and they can't get attached because they're worried about getting their heart broken or whatever, which is also toxic. Same thing. And women do that too. But men definitely seem to be on some bullshit in regards to this. And don't get me wrong, like, as a young man, I definitely, and I think as a young person in general, like, you know, you start going into relationships with a lot of severity and a lot of urgency, and you're like, oh my God, if we break up, it'll be the end of the world. It's not, though. It's a good thing. Every breakup ever, probably not ever, but most breakups are good things. Most breakups are a quality aspect in your life that you probably just need perspective on to appreciate, but, you know.
Men between the ages of 20 and 30 are not ready, in most cases, for marriage.
I agree. I absolutely agree with Tommy Lahren here. That is, I mean, I don't know. If she shows her math, I'm sure I'll disagree with her. But I think 20 to 30 years old, I don't think anyone, not just men, I don't think anyone is ready for marriage. It's like you need to cohabitate with someone and, like, really grow to understand what love even can be before I think you should be like, I'm legally bound. It just seems like a hasty situation to just rush into.
So let me get this straight. Men are all trash and won't commit and won't leave mommy's basement.
I do not think all men are trash, by the way. I think a lot of men have been taught to be trash in a way that is savable. Some men are not savable. They just dig in too much. But, like, if you listen to what women want, and even Tommy's sort of saying it, she just want, you know, people just want to be, they want to feel safe. They want someone that they get along with and that they feel comfortable with. And that's pretty much everybody. You want to feel comfortable in your home together or wherever you live. You want to get along. You don't want to feel like you're walking on eggshells. And you want, you know, some kind of romantic chemistry to whatever degree that would satisfy you.
and they're destroying the birth rates, but also young men are biologically incapable of commitment and being parents. What? But wait, there's more! She also believes women don't have to bring anything to the table.
And as a woman, I want a strong man who is a protector and a provider that will go to war if need be, that will protect me, protect my family, make money. But I don't think a man needs to get something out of it to be a manly man, a protector and a provider. If you think you need to get something out of it, I quite frankly don't consider you a real man.
The only thing I'm looking to get out of any relationship is reciprocity appropriate to the relationship. You know what I mean? Like, if I don't need my partner to make money or whatever. Although Sarah makes her own money, she has her own gig. Like, I just want reciprocity and partnership to whatever, to my preferences, right? Which is just like, get along. Like, we share the chores around here. We divide labor in a different way. We smooch and stuff. It's pretty fun. Like, yes, men should get something out of it, but I like the way that Andrew talks about it. Big Papa Pussy over here on the left next to Piers. He's like, women owe you sex. Totally disagree. Sex is something you do together because it's fun. And if it's not fun for one or the other person or both, you're not going to be doing it very much,
Never before in history have women demanded so much and offered so little. So before we get deeper into this retarded, manufactured, stay-at-home son narrative, let's check the Facebook comments of this Fox News video, because I am really interested to see what, like, the typical...
Yes, please, the Facebook comments.
Fox News viewer thinks about this. Bunch of sissies. I served 6 years, 2 years in Southeast Asia after Vietnam was over. When I was 18, rent was $450 and I could afford to get my own place. She's so spot on. Nothing screams I'm a loser run from me than a guy living at home in his parents' house with his 12-year-old boy's bedroom decor at age of 30. Thank God we raised our sons to be men, who grew up, lived on their own, found their soulmate, got married, bought a beautiful home, and started a family. I was out the door at 18. Worked on the assembly line at Dodge and in the Air Force at 19. Never went back home. I can't relate to this. Yes, we know you people can't relate. We know. But the world has changed. Why can't you people get this through your heads? I will never let my sons stay home. I'm trying to push them out of the nest. Okay, I really gotta ask, is this an Anglo thing? Immediately kicking your kid out when they turn 18 years old?
Yes.
My Mediterranean mind cannot comprehend this.
It's not just Anglo. It's like white Protestant. Or not even, just like white Christian and ostensibly right-wing men have this opinion for sure. My dad wanted me to pay rent right away, for sure, and he didn't need me to pay rent. He was just an asshole.
And honestly, why the f*** would a man leave home, leave his mother's cooking for a...
Loved George Bush. Voted for Trump for sure, first time. Wasn't alive for the second one, let's go. Was alive, did he die? No, he died before Joe Biden was in office, right? Or right when he was? Right after he got voted in.
Unfortunately, Tommy Lauren wasn't the only one pushing this stupid, lazy young men go get a job bullshit. Mike Johnson did it, referencing 29-year-old men playing video games all day. Steve Scalise did it with 35-year-old men playing video games all day. And just the other night, I saw this on my TV. Again.
A Wall Street Journal headline.
On your TV, huh? A lot of Fox News on that old tube. I only see Fox News clips when I'm on the internet doing this kind of stuff. It's never playing in my house.
Got our attention. The new dream job for young men, stay-at-home son. It's a phrase that's taken off since 27-year-old Brendan Leo won $59,000 on Jeopardy. And he has a master's degree in political science, but he's unemployed. Grow up, get a job, get a wife, build a family.
Just get a wife, bro. Just get a job, bro. This just get a job lazy attitude is not surprising, but it's especially funny coming from Fox News of all places. Fox News that spends so much time yapping about immigrants taking American jobs. Fox News will talk for years about how Americans are being screwed out of the workforce. But when this issue manifests itself in Gen Z, suddenly it's a moral failure. The fact is, a lot of American jobs held by men are being lost to automation, offshoring, and yes, cheap foreign labor.
Force corporations to pay everyone a living wage, raise the minimum wage, divest from bad shit. Why is labor cheap, Shu? Capitalism. Maybe she'll prescribe some progressive stuff. She likes healthcare. She still considers herself a Bernie bro or something.
Companies companies and billionaires would rather have cheap labor that they can essentially abuse, not pay fair wages to, just good little worker drones who won't unionize, rather than hire American workers for a living wage. The cheaper the labor they hire, the more money they make.
I don't care if they're American or not. I don't give a shit who they hire. We shouldn't even need jobs to live. The idea that you need a job to have a dignified life is just so stupid. We do not need 100% of humans to be productive. We just don't need it. We are more efficient than that. It would be more efficient not to have them commuting every day, to not have them, to just be staying at home more often, being part of their communities. It would genuinely be more efficient. We need people to work like maybe half as much. You could have half the workforce or like half the labor, and I bet it's probably even more. Because most of the shit we do is like think of the jobs you've ever had. It's just mindless stuff to help a corporation nickel and dime somebody else. But it's not really like an essential community service.
Remember when Bernie Sanders called open borders a Koch brothers conspiracy?
Open borders?
Borders.
That's a Koch brothers proposal, which says essentially there is no United States.
But it would make a lot
of
the global poor richer, wouldn't it?
And it'd make everybody in America poor. Then you're doing away with the concept of a nation state.
Where'd that guy go?
I don't care about a nation state. I mean, I know that they exist already, so we've got it to some extent because of the system. But I think we could add just like we could increasingly add permeability to the point that like nation states are, basically just ways that we organize the accounting of everything. But it doesn't need to be limiting on how humans move around and interact with each other. We need to really unrestrict this like hyper-nationalist, protectionist idea that most nations seem to have. It's just so paranoid.
Jobs being taken are jobs traditionally held by men like construction and factory jobs, manual labor work. But it's not just manual labor jobs, it's also the tech industry and business industry, which are careers also mainly held by men.
I think we need more healthcare workers and educators and like people that can feed kids at the school and like, people that take care of other people around. Like we need more personal care and amenity driven industry, and like you can compensate people for that, but I don't need people working 40 plus hours a week on this kind of stuff.
There are many, many examples of this, such as Microsoft recently cutting thousands of American workers while requesting 14,000 more H-1B workers this year. Some of those job positions include data scientists, which are 70% men, software developers, which are 80% men, and electronic engineers, which are 90% men, and many more like that. Another example of this:
capitalism is doing a bad job of providing a system that assures well-being for its citizens, which means it's a failing system.
Was Tesla, where roughly 15,000 American employees were fired in April 2024, and many were replaced with H-1B visa holders. On Twitter, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy tried to chalk this up to these immigrants just simply being the best and the brightest. Yeah, okay. You're paying them less for longer hours and more work, and they're willing to deal with it in order to stay in the country. It's coercive, exploitative, and, dare I say, not very America first.
Not very America first. It's so America first. This is exactly the kind of exploitation that America firsters are about. To destabilize and like steal from the global south, which includes their proficient laborers, and then pay them pennies so that we can maximize profit for a corporation. That is exactly the American way. That's what we've been doing since the inception. It's like the most goddamn America first policy we've ever had. It's like literally to a T how we've always run. Slavery, for instance, is trying to get cheap fucking labor from another part of the world. Her problem is many things. But on this kind of topic, like, she just can't get around the performative aspect of her, like, politics. She could identify these problems more clearly without the, the dance.
There's also affirmative action and DEI, which are other things Fox News always pisses and shits about. But suddenly, when the conversation is about Gen Z men, the demographic of people who are victims of these things, suddenly these things just, like, don't exist anymore. Then it's, oh, young men are all just lazy. They just want to be in their parents' basement ordering.
So she says that young men are victims of DEI? Like, I don't understand, man. They had those jobs under the Biden administration during the DEI initiatives, those 82% of men, those 70% of men, whatever. Like, they had those jobs 4 years ago under those initiatives. You cannot say that this is just foreign labor stealing these white guys' jobs. It's more than that.
But it's not just the brown people taking your jobs. It's the women, too. Many of the dying industries are male-dominated, while many of the growing industries are female-dominated, and stigma around these jobs being woman jobs usually stops men from working them.
That's just men being the problem again. That's a man's problem if he thinks it's a woman job or what the fuck ever. I mean, shut up. Like, you can't blame other people. Like, that's their fault. Toxic masculinity is the problem here. The patriarchal system that makes men have to act a certain way, or makes them feel like they have to, rather. That's the problem.
Women are overwhelmingly entering and excelling in college and the workforce, and they're more flexible about job position and pay, while young men usually hold out for higher paying, higher position jobs that will make them the breadwinner.
It's a weird way to put it. But Jake, have you worked a woman's job? I mean, every job I've ever had, women have also done them. I've never had a job that a woman wasn't also doing. I don't know. So yes, I guess so.
Every woman is a feminist until the dinner bill comes.
Like, you're never going to be free, Shu. You're just never going to be fucking free of this if that's the way you live your life. Like, little quips like that are just misogyny. I've had women that weren't woke and that were wokies pay for my meals. So fucking strange. What an odd thing. She's like, oh, the boomers are so bad. Says boomer shit constantly. I mean, you're one of them.
Women aged 22 to 29 earned about $1,000 more annually than men, completely reversing the traditional gender pay gap for this age group. In the US, a 2022 Pew Research Center analysis showed that women under 30 out-earned men in many metropolitan areas, with median earnings at or above 100% of men's in cities like New York and Washington, D.C.
I wouldn't be surprised if this was a combination of things, but definitely they're probably better work in the work environment, you know?
Not sound like a lot of money now, but it's a growing trend that has never been seen before. It's so bad that it's really starting to...
How is that bad? Please do not frame women out-earning men as bad. The bad thing is that men feel like some part of their masculinity is staked on this situation. I just don't know why you can't break free.
Affect the dating world. American women have never been this resigned to staying single. They are responding to major demographic shifts, including huge and growing gender gaps in economic and educational attainment, political affiliation, and beliefs about what family should look like.
Yeah, because right-wing men are fucking weird freaks, and most women don't agree with them.
More women than men are attending college, buying houses, and focusing on their friendships and careers over dating and marriage.
Because men ain't worth shit now. So the conservative viewpoint is that if men have a monopoly on access to primary resources, then they can control women better because women require them to have access to, you know, the stuff they need to live. But now that women are breaking free of that, you're seeing that they're opting out of dealing with men when they don't want to.
Modern women are no longer tied to their gender role. Birth control has freed them from the prison that is their biology, and they are making their own money, sometimes more than men. They can have it all. They can do anything. They can be anything. While at the same time, men are still expected to be the provider. And more...
Bruh! That's something that men put on their own plate. Men are expected to be a provider, and you're reinforcing that. That's not necessary. Men don't need to provide shit except reciprocity in their relationship. I'm telling you, I've never one time dated anybody, and I've dated some shitheads. I have never once dated somebody that cared about how much money I made. Ever.
More importantly, many men...
I know that they exist in very high-class situations. Most people aren't making $100,000 a year, though, man.
And still want
more
to be the provider, but they can't. And women, though strong and independent, still want men to be the provider.
And as a woman...
What? Tommy Lahren is not women. Tommy Lahren is a right-wing freak. Why are you saying that this is what women want? She's barely one of them. She's definitely LARPing aspects of it.
And I want a strong man who is a protector and a provider that will go to war if need be, that will protect me, protect my family, make money.
Basically, men are like, we're worried we're not making enough money. And women are like, we're we're worried men are not making enough money.
Just Tommy. God damn it. This isn't women, bro.
Hello class, I am Miss On Head. I am substituting for your teacher today. She was arrested for molesting a 12-year-old boy.
Dude, what is with the hating on women? What's going on here? Do your parents do this kind of shit? Does your dad shit on your mom all the time like this? Like, what's going on? What is going on?
So today we are learning about the graph. This is the growth in productivity versus hourly compensation graph. And you can trace almost everything bad happening in society back to this graph. As you can see, productivity increased while compensation barely grew over the same time period. Notice they tracked very closely up until around 1972. Now, what happened around 1972, class? Well, the top marginal tax rate was reduced from 70% in 1964 to 50% by 1981. The federal minimum wage began to stagnate. Income going to the 1% rose from 9% in the 60s to 16% in 2023. CEOs also went from making 20 times more than the average worker to making 350 times more than the average worker.
I like all the things that you're saying here. Capitalism is not doing a good job. So why, for 25 minutes prior, are we laying the responsibility of this system and the effects of it on women? Why have we been shitting on women for 25 minutes? Why have we not been shitting on capitalism from the start? Why isn't this the first thing on the fucking list?
Anything else? Anything else happen around 1972?
Literally capitalism.
Yes, Jimmy, that is correct. Women joined the workforce around this time, but we don't have to get into that today.
See? Now it's like women shouldn't be working. Quit your job, please.
The fact is, hard work no longer guarantees success. And
it has never guaranteed success. This is a myth. Hard work has never, one time, guaranteed success in life ever. There are certainly different things that if you got really good at a thing, it could help you get success, but there's no guarantee of it, because it also takes, like, social skills, because there's people who keep you from these resources. Like, all of this is a play on power. All of it. All of it is to enforce hierarchy that is just about which ape can collect the most shinies. That is where we're at in society. It's not more sophisticated than that. We have organized the apes by who can collect the most shinies. It's not a good system. Maybe we should have some merit involved. Maybe we should have some, like, hey, what have you done for me lately involved? Nope. If you have accrued the shinies...
Many have basically given up, but it's not like they didn't try. They tried, and they found out the juice just isn't worth the squeeze, whether it's college, dating, or the job market. And in a way, many young men are kind of choosing revolution. The never-before-seen large shift rightward in young men is a...
How is a shift towards the problem a revolutionary act? Ah, yes, the revolution, where we literally, this year in the Trump administration, exacerbate the problem on the graph that you held up. When you held up this graph, did you involve... I noticed that you stopped in like 2020 or something when you talked about it. Did you notice that the Trump administration did the same thing? You didn't mention that explicitly at all. In 72, who was president? Chat. Who was president in 1972? Nixon, in a landslide. I can't believe it. So there was a right-wing shift in the country and then things went bad? No way. So anyway, the Republicans and conservatism has ruined the country at every step. Every single time it gets to a bad place, it's due to capitalists, upper-class men being dumb. All of them white.
Small revolution in a way. They're saying, this isn't working for me. This sucks.
Yes. I agree that this sucks, and some of them thought that they were like, well, I had more money when Donald Trump was president, so I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. Pretty dumb. I do agree that the liberals don't offer a much better alternative. They offer, like, tax credits and shit, which is like cool or whatever. Not very sexy stuff, which is why we need socialism.
I hate this. I want something different. This is also manifesting on the Democrat side in general. The young men that are still voting left are voting further left. You saw this recently in New York City, where Zoran Mamdani, a self-proclaimed Democratic socialist, won the Democratic primary. Young men are tired of the establishment, left and right. They're tired of the system, and they want to burn it down and start again. They want something that works for them, because this is not working for them.
If you wake up one morning and you find yourself in a society where 23-year-olds with 4-year college degrees and like initiative who aren't smoking weed every day, if they can't make enough to buy a car, much less a home.
Motherfucker, Tucker Carlson talking about this shit since I went through it as a 23-year-old and all my fucking friends did too. Can't buy cars, can't get homes, can't get married. A lot of them were stunted. Some of them got lucky, but all the ones that really were able to do it went into healthcare, and none of them fucking like their job because it's not supported by the system. It's gotten worse every year. They're all stressed the fuck out. Like, literally, as you advocate for the system that causes this, which is wealth inequality, lack of socialized healthcare, lack of housing, lack of education opportunities because they have to go into student debt for those 4-year loans, and then they can't find a job to pay that debt off because of the system that you advocate for. Your ideas are fucking bad. Your worldview doesn't work. And worst of all, it's not based on true things. It's based on propaganda. It's based on a whack-ass religion that isn't true. And it's based on, like, practices, draconian practices of, like, patriarchy and, like, man should be part of the head of the household and be the breadwinner. It's fucking antiquated. You're just wrong. Being unable to accept when you're fucking wrong is what's the problem with this world in general. Is that these fucking people can't just get over themselves. They're like so tied to a concept like capitalism. We have to collect the coins. Well, what if we don't organize based on who collects the most coins? I mean, just listen to yourselves for 1 second.
Much less get married, much less have children. Then why should you be surprised when half of them say they prefer socialism?
I think part of Tucker's insidiousness is that he'll say something that sounds partially right, and then he'll follow it up with, like, the most vile, white replacement, fucking Christo-fascist bullshit ever. Very insidious stuff.
Huh.
Like, he knows what he's doing.
Fox News should hire that guy.
Ha 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 ha. She likes Tucker Carlson so much.
Is an entire generation of fighting-aged men who are enraged and feel like they have nothing to live
Fighting-aged. Describing men as fighting-aged.
for. You should probably start caring. If we do get dragged into another war in the Middle East, young men might come running back to the Democratic Party. Maybe not. Maybe not even a George Bush II electric boogaloo will have men coming back to the Democratic Party. Hopefully we don't find out.
The Democratic Party, I don't even care. I don't think we should have a two-party system. I don't even think we should have parties at all. I think we should abolish them.
So that was that video. What do you think of the male loser epidemic?
All right. I think people who say, I'm a victim of the male loneliness epidemic, you're just a douchebag, probably. You've been propagandized to by manosphere right-wing content, and it's poisoned your fucking brain against yourself, and now you're like in a self-defeating spiral where you think that, like, no one will love me because I'm not, like, wealthy or whatever. I'm not a 1%er. And it's just ridiculous stuff. Like, seriously, just consider where you get your information from. Fox News and right-wingers pay for a lot of media access to tell you a bunch of shit that never fucking helps you, and it only makes you mad. And why do they mobilize your anger? So that they can centralize the power in the people who benefit from it. Have you ever thought about it? It's worth it. Every time I do a shoe on head video, I get a bunch of angry guys in the comments, like shooters for her. If you're a shoe on head shooter, I would love to not only hear your complaints down below. Of course, I'll be reading each and every one of them. But also, if you want to check me out live on Twitch and have a discussion about why your worldview is wrong and why Shoe on Head's worldview is wrong too, I would love to have a discussion over here on Twitch. Come hang out. I love talking to people. And I can help you if you're one of these like right-wing incels. I can do it. I can fix you, brother. I guarantee you most of your problems are the way that you think about things. And it's not necessarily all your fault that you think that way. It's just like, your responsibility to undo the damage. And that sucks. This place, this country, this world, it fucks us up. And you are one of the victims of it. But that doesn't mean that you just get to hide behind your victimhood.